One of the great things about a combative team sport like rugby, where players have to put their bodies on the line, is that it forces players to build trust in their teammates. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make out like rugby is some gladiatorial arena, where it is a matter of life and death. After all, we all get to go home at the end of the game. But it is a high collision sport, and it feels like a battle when you're out there. And it is normal to feel fear at times. It is not about denying the fear, it is about rising above it. This task is made so much easier when you have teammates you can trust. Trust that if you enter a tackle on a bigger or more powerful opponent, that your teammates will have your back as long as you hold on. Trust that if you get tackled, that your teammates will put their bodies on the line to make sure you do not turn over possession. Trust that if you stick your head in a scrum, ruck, or maul, that your teammates next to you are as committed to the cause as much as you are. For the fullback position though, a lot of that trust can only be placed on themselves. This is due to the nature of their role. They are the last line of defence and they make sure the team's backfield is well guarded and safe from aerial bombardment. The fullback position is often relatively isolated from teammates, even with the help of the wingers, because the area they cover is so large, particularly on defence where they are expected to do as the name suggests and hang back to cover kicks and be the team's last line of defence. Fullbacks share a very similar skill set with fly-halves, but they play a different managerial role in the team. Whilst the fly-half manages the game as a whole, they are not well positioned to call the shots in the backfield, so the management of the backfield is usually left to the fullback. The 15, along with the two wingers, form what is known as the back three. The wingers have to balance their time between standing up in the defensive line or to fall back and help the fullback cover the backfield, in case of potential kicks. This is usually managed with the game plan and the guidance of the fullback. Fullbacks have to be equally as comfortable when working alone as when working with teammates. They have to be comfortable being the lone wolf, but also know when it's time to work with the pack. They also play a key role in both defence and attack. Though I said 15s have similar skill sets than 10s, I would say they are on balance usually more dangerous as running threats in their own right when compared to fly halves. The backfield offers a lot of time and space, especially when fielding deep kicks and running them back. So it pays to have a player in the 15 position that has the ability to put the opposition under pressure as both a distributor and a running weapon on counter-attack. Fullbacks also have the advantage of seeing most of the playing field along with the players in front of them. Their remote position provides them a wide perspective, so teams are often tempted to convert some of their best playmakers and attacking runners into fullbacks, because it is a position where having that type of player in the role can pay a lot of dividends. But it would be ill-advised to have a highly talented attacking player in the position who does not possess the fundamental skills of a fullback. These should be a non-negotiable or high on the priority list of skills that need to be improved. Fullbacks need to be strong and safe under the high ball. They need to be adept at being the last line of defence, very good positional awareness and a good kicking boot. These are the fundamentals required for the job. If the fullback is weak in any of these areas, they can be a big liability to the team. If the fullback is not safe under the high ball, then it is an area in which the opposition can put the team under enormous pressure, with relative ease. Rugby has come to love great attacking fullbacks like Christian Cullen, Israel Dagg, JPR Williams, Gavin Hastings, Jason Robinson, but we would have been robbed of their attacking brilliance from their fullback position if they weren't trusted to run the backfield and if they weren't safe as houses under the high ball. Due to the fundamental importance of the backfield needing to be marshalled by a player that the team can bank on, to have their backs, who holds the fort and keeps the other team's kickers honest. So the 15 position offers opportunity to play a big role in counter-attack of kicks and counter-attack of turnover ball. Of kicks because the fullback is often the player receiving the kick or next to the player receiving the kick. And of turnover ball because the wide vantage point of the 15 offers the perfect perspective from where to spot opportunities in the defence, trying to suddenly switch from an attacking structure to a defensive structure. When the team is in structured attack, the fullback can be expected to play a variety of roles. The role generally dictates where they will join the line. If they are seen as more of a dangerous runner, and the team would benefit most if they were given as much space as possible. Then they would try and place themselves in the wider channels, along with the wings and the outside centre. If they are seen as an effective playmaker, then they are likely to play a second playmaking role along with the fly half. Not sure if many of you have picked up, but I live in Australia, where Aussie rules football is immensely popular. In some parts of the country, like Melbourne, where I live, people generally don't have an amazing understanding of rugby union, beyond its superficial qualities. So when I do find myself comparing the game of rugby to AFL, I always say that the fullback would be a great in for ex-players of the Australian code. Or, more to the point I'm usually trying to make, the fullback position requires very similar skills to what high-level AFL players need. They need to be safe when fielding kicks. They need to have the ability to kick, and they have to have good spatial and positional awareness. All things which are very transferable. Fullback is a good position for me to round off all my positional videos. Not just because it is the last number when we count from 1 to 15, but because it completes a journey in showing the variety of athletes and players required in a rugby union team. If you are considering being a weightlifter, also consider being a front rower. If you are considering playing basketball, also consider playing lock. If you are the type of person who could be a QB in American football, consider playing fly half or even scrum half. If you are a sprinter, consider playing wing. And yes, if you are an Aussie rules footballer, consider playing fullback. Because rugby is a place for whatever it is that makes you you as an athlete. A rugby team's strength is in its diversity. Even if you are not the strongest, then rest assured you will get stronger. And in most cases, there are different levels of the game at amateur level. Most players do not look like Eben Etzebeth or John Olomo. So as long as you have the heart and the drive to get involved, rugby will have a place for you.